Hello, everyone. I'm Aishwarya from FitBudd's marketing team. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we begin, please allow me to give a brief introduction of FitBudd for those who might be new here. FitBudd helps you grow your fitness business with the power of your branded app. We also give you a dedicated and customizable website on your own domain. Beyond usual day to day operations, our platform is the only tool you need to seamlessly run your fitness business and build a robust digital brand. We also offer a 30-day free trial so you can schedule your free demo with our experts using the link we have just shared in the chat. Moving on, I'm excited to introduce Binay, our expert presenter for today. Binay is a chief health officer, a nutritional therapy practitioner, and a renowned FitBudd fitness coach. With over 30 years of expertise in nutrition and fitness, she's the founder of Body by Binay and has been recognized as Marine Magazine's Best Health and Wellness Coach 2024. She also specializes in live stream HIIT classes and nutrition coaching, creating transformative programs that help boost energy, manage weight, and promote lasting wellness. Binay will be sharing her expert insights with us today. So let's get started. Over to you, Binay.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to thank FitBudd for bringing my brand to a whole new level with their amazing app and also their amazing coaching to me and getting me started with the app. So if you don't already have yours, believe me, you want to talk to them. They're going to be able to hook you up, help you out. Even if you have no technology background, they will be able to set you up. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to talk to you today about communication techniques and how to get your brand seen and heard. First of all, have you ever turned on the television and seen other trainers shape up, maybe newscasters, or talk about the latest trends, and you wonder, how do I do that? Well, I have. And today, what I'm going to share with you is how you can get your brand seen and heard across the press, whether it's online, offline, or around town. But today I have the honor of combining both of my expertise, fitness expertise and communications expertise, 25 plus years experience in each industry. And I get to talk to you about how to merge them all. You guys ready to roll? I'll take that as a yes. So maybe some of you are walking if you're like me and you're listening to the webinar. I always need to move while I listen to webinars. So I'll share with you what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn how to develop a personal pitch without selling yourself short. So what is your business all about? I'll tell you, Body by Binay is all about having clients merge food plus fitness to equal results. You heard about FitBudd at the very beginning, the introduction. That was called an elevator pitch. How can you craft and deliver your pitches to secure media placements that amplify your impact? How can you build a promotion to grow your business and your brand visible, make your brand visible across town, online, like I said, virtually or in person? And then we'll talk a little bit about how to refine your approach, how to rehearse it, and continue to improve your skills. Okay, let's roll with it. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat section. I'll try to answer them and take a pause as we go along. And there will be a Q&A section at the end. So if I don't get to your question, then I will hopefully get to your question at the end. Let's also make sure to follow each other on Instagram and support each other that way. And that's another way to reach out to me. I'm, guess what, at Body by Binay. You'll see my branding all over the place as we go through this for those of you that are watching on the computer. And I'll also talk a little bit about ways to incorporate your branding in everyday life. But first, what's the story behind your brand? Do you have a story? What does that look like? What's your history? Is it about an injury? Is it about weight loss? Is it about sharing your history, how you got here today? Try to think and envision what that is for you. The more authentic you are about it, the better it is. For me, with Body by Binay, I knew that I was into fitness as soon as I was a teenager and I started moving at a gym. I was 15 years old and I asked my parents to drop me off at the local gym because I couldn't even drive then. After being there for just 6 months, I knew that I could teach a class. I won't tell you what year that was, but it was a long time ago. So I knew from the very beginning that I was interested in fitness. I also knew that I can work with all ages. At that time, when I was only, by the time I got to teaching, 16 years old, I knew that I can work with adults and teenagers, and I have ever since then. What is your narrative? What is your story? Do you have a story? Take a moment, write it down, just take some notes. What's your story? People want to know. They will be able to relate to you. What I can do now as an adult is talk to the teenagers about following my passion throughout my life. The power of your narrative is key. So one, how do you get yourself seen and heard? First of all, identify the platforms that are important to you. What aligns with your expertise? Are people watching TV or are they seeing it online? Right? Are they going to go to your website or is it more important to you to build your Instagram profile? Probably the latter. Craft that compelling pitch, starting with hearing yourself, talking to your clients, figuring out what resonates with them, and again, being authentic to who you are. Prepare professional material, include media kits and speaking examples, and leverage your network. Use testimonials. If somebody tells you that was a great workout session, that was a great class, that was a good workout you provided me on FitBudd, make sure that you get their testimonial. Hey, thank you so much. That was so great. Do you mind writing a review for me? Do you mind sharing that with clients? Do you mind writing it in MindBody? Do you mind putting it in ClassPass? That would be fantastic. So leverage your own network. Also tell them to bring a friend to class, right? It starts there. What is that elevator pitch? Let's take a moment to talk a little bit about that. We talked about being authentic and to creating your own story. And here's why it matters. It takes a moment for people to understand who you are. You also need to ask yourself, why do they care? Okay. You're going to hear a lot from me about so what, who cares, what's in it for me. I told you that story about the teens because now I can tell the teens that I was once in their shoes. They understand that I started when I was a teenager. So they're not just seeing me as an older adult. Again, I can work with teenagers up until any age because they can relate to me. Introduce yourself with clarity and confidence in any setting, whether it's on camera, in person, or pitching to the press. Again, developing that elevator pitch is going to be key, whether you're talking to a client or you're talking to the press. Hey, Bené, what are you talking about? When am I going to talk to the press? What is this thing all about? It's about communication. I'm talking to people. Well, guess what? I want you to learn how to talk to your clients so that they can talk to their friends, so that you can build your business, so that that business can build itself by sharing in social media. And again, maybe eventually you will be seen and heard in the press. But first, starting with who you are, your unique role as a personal trainer, who you are. Highlight your value. What is your value? So it can be something like, I help people achieve their fitness goals for me while building confidence on and off camera. Keep it simple and clear. Avoid jargon or filler words. Add a personal touch to everything that you do to make it memorable. And most importantly, end with a call to action. Again, so if it's one-on-one, let's talk about how I can help you elevate your fitness journey, right? Super simple, keeping it simple and ending with a call to action. All right. What happens if you get in front of the press? This is really what I do. So like I told you before, I'm able to merge today my experience as a fitness coach but also my experience as a media coach with Galaxy 6 strategies. So if many of you are on your phones, right on a computer, you can go to galaxy6.com. You will see that I'm also a presentation trainer. What I do with clients is help them appear in the press, whether it's online or offline, mostly on camera work. What happens in that moment to many people is they freeze, right? You're in front of a lot of people, the lights go on, the cameras go on, action, and all of a sudden you freeze. Now, maybe you haven't been in front of the press before, right? Maybe you're like, I don't really know what you're talking about. I've just, taught a fitness class, right? But have you ever been in a fitness class and you're a teacher every day for me, and I don't remember if I did the right and the left side evenly? If I don't, and I'm thinking afterwards, like, I don't remember if I did that tricep press, right? So that's the version of the lights, camera, action, and all of a sudden you go blank, despite the fact that you have years of experience as a fitness coach. So how can we get through that? As a fitness coach, it can be pretty simple, right? You can teach the same class over and over again. Think about that in the communications world. You want to share the same message over and over again. Are they going to get sick of it? I don't know. Maybe after 10, 20, 30, 40 times. Or maybe they like the consistency of it, right? Maybe you're teaching them that by consistency, they're actually hearing it and they're learning it. We have to see and hear things so many times in so many different ways to really make a difference. So let's think about it the same way, where you teach somebody a bicep curl over and over and over again until they finally get it right. A powerful presenter or communications technique consistently defines and delivers that same message over and over again. Let's take a look at some video clips that I share with my clients and mastering Q&A techniques.
You're not going to believe this, but this is incredible. And we haven't. I don't think anybody else has covered this. Number 3.
I try to take people on an emotional ride. And
The curve? How do you think it's going to impact how viewers experience your movies?
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
Number 2. What would your biggest mistake be, would you say, and what lessons have you learned from it?
Wish you to give me this written question ahead of time so I can plan for it. John, I'm sure historians will look back and say, gosh, you could have done it better this way or that way. I'm sure something will pop in my head here in the midst of this press conference, all the pressure of trying to come up with an answer. I hope I don't want to sound like I made no mistakes. I'm confident I have. I just haven't, just put me under the spot here, and maybe I'm not as quick on my feet as I should be in coming up with one.
Okay, just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to, oh my gosh. How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. My,
So let's take a moment. If you have any questions right now, or there's something that you want to make sure that I cover, why don't you go ahead and put it in chat section? I'm going to check the chat section here if I can do that. If any of you have any questions, I'll take a look at that right now. Put it in chat section. And then Nubia, I think you asked me what the plan was for Q&A. We talked a little bit about that. I'm going to answer some questions at the end. Everyone hearing me okay? FitBudd Marketing, we're good? Yeah, we're gonna be sending the recordings after this. Okay, great. Okay, if I don't see any questions, then let's move on. Okay, thumbs up. I like the thumbs up. All right, so how many of you, let me just ask you if you can put it in chat section if you guys have access to that. Let me ask you, have you ever frozen when you've spoken in public? Just literally blanked out? Have you ever forgotten a side when you're teaching and later on you're like, I forgot the right side, I forgot the left side? Anyone? Ray? Maybe? Okay, alt fitness coach right there. Yes, maybe this morning. You're a natural and you're witty. All right, let's put you in front then. Definitely, there are some people this comes naturally to. I know them right away when I'm in my Galaxy 6 training sessions. I literally can see it right away. So it is true. You can be a natural, okay? And if you are a natural, how can we leverage that? Literally, you're a natural at this. You can speak to audiences. It is no problem for you. Then let's do it. Let's get you in front of the press right away. It is good to be okay with it. You often get asked, let me see, how I got to be so confident. Is confidence something to teach? Okay, I'm going to quote a Harvard professor here, Amy Cuddy. If you look it up on YouTube, Amy, Cuddy, talks a little bit about the Superman pose, right? We all know the Superman pose, arms up in the air, maybe like this. Yeah, you see me, my hands are on my hips. For those of you that maybe need a little extra boost, you practice that before you go on air. Okay, yes, great. It's taught in leadership classes. Good. All right. You practice those poses literally like a few minutes before you go into the bathroom, hands on hips, hands overhead, and you tell yourself, I got this. It's a little like the fake it till you make it theory, right? Because in our body language, once we can see it, once we can feel it, you can see it and you're ready to roll. Okay. So Nubia, awesome. Super simple for you. Let's get on and let's teach you how to then get yourself seen and heard since it's no problem. All right. We already saw that. Let's move on. What you really want to do is adapt your message across all platforms. So remember we talked a little bit about consistency. My message is going to be the same, no matter if I'm talking to the press, no matter if I'm online, but it may be presented slightly differently, right? What do I mean by that? With broadcasts, it's entertainment for people. Okay, with webinars, it may be entertainment. Like I said, you may be on the go, you may be doing a million things, you may be driving, you're just tuning in. So I need to make sure to get your attention, right? So that you will tune in a little more than when you're reading something, for example. Entertainment is broadcast is also sensationalistic. So it's kind of exaggerating what it is. What are the top 3 things I can do to lose weight? Whereas when it's a written word, pretty obvious, they want information. They want things that are in depth, and reporters will want to use you as a resource. Keep that in mind. You can be a resource for any of these local reporters. So while you think you are asking for a favor from them, actually, you are seen as an incredible resource to them. They want the information from you. I want you to keep that in mind. When you're writing, you want to write with a purpose as well. You want to use headlines to hook readers, whether you're writing in an Instagram post or you're writing a longer article to be published in the press. You also want to incorporate facts, relatable examples, and close with a call to action that drives engagement. And I'm going to say it again. You want to repeat the same message over and over again. So years ago, I was the spokesperson for an online company that no longer exists called petstore.com. They sold pet food online. When petstore.com was going out of business, I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal. How many times did I have to tell them we sell pet food online? You would think it would be really obvious. However, unfortunately, it's not a business model that is successful. Therefore, what I want you to do is go and have readers go to pets.com so that they can purchase their pet food online. I must have shared that message 3 times in that exact same way. Okay. Now, only on the 3rd time did I see the reporter take notes, and only on the 4th time did I see it written in the press. Did I think that I was being annoying by saying it over and over again? Please have your readers go to pets.com. Yes, it is confusing. Pet store, pets.com. Sorry, we're going out of business, but why are you going out of business? This is not a relatable business model. This is not working for the clients. But there was that call to action. There was that message, and I needed to repeat it over and over and over again. So again, how many times have you shared with your clients what a bicep curl looks like over and over and over again until they get it right? Now, how can we tell our story clearly? First of all, you need to think about what that big money story is, what the hook is, what the relevance is to that story. And then PS, you need to stop. And again, think about it. Like I said before, so what? Who cares? What's in it for me? So what? What's your big money story? Who cares? Where's your hook? What's in it for me? What's the relevance for them? And then stop. So I was with a client that, if I could just take a moment to share this story with you, she ran a company that was an online recipe company at the time. And she had an interview with the Wall Street Journal in person. Yes, we did it in person back then. And we thought the meeting was going to be about 20 minutes. And really, the truth is, how much is there to say about an online recipe, portal? So she had to tell her story over and over and over again. But then it did, believe it or not, get repetitive after an hour. So what I need you to do is stop to think about how to relate it to the audience, how it's relevant to them, but then also stop and give them an opportunity to speak as well. On that note, I'm going to take a moment and listen to my own advice. I'm going to pause and take a look in chat section and determine if you guys are ready to roll with your next fitness placement, and or if you have any questions. All right, Nubia, let's hear from you. She likes the pose, hands on hips. Me too. My poses are always hands on hips. And she's ready for press. Confidence. I like reading a little bit about it. Anyone else with chat section? Any questions? Excellent. Okay. That means you guys are ready to really tell your story. Okay. Now, if you have access to the chat section, I would like to see what your story is. What is your elevator pitch? That should come to mind right away. What is your elevator pitch? Anyone have access to chat section? You guys just walking and talking? We have close to 17 people here. Let's see if I can take a look at this. What is your elevator pitch? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to write mine. You're going to give me an opportunity here. Body by Benet is a business. Can I get FitBudd to also participate? And maybe you just write what FitBudd does in your elevator pitch. Body by Benet is a business that has clients join food plus fitness. And then I'm going to add here, and sometimes fun for results. Now, if everybody goes to bodybybenet.com, you will see the very first thing you will see is food plus fitness equals results. Are you ready for results? Go to Body by Benet. What about FitBudd? Do we get it here? Do we get your participation? Experience, I have here, a fitness coach, experience with mental health, depression and anxiety with panic attacks. Good. Okay. Also being in recovery and mixing in toxic relationships and how fitness has helped me get better. Fantastic. Oh, I love this. A fitness coach. All right. So I only have you here as fitness coach. So what I want to hear for the person that wrote, you help big, tall, and busy desk job pros transform their health and confidence with IF, intermittent fasting. Fitness coach who wrote that, what is the name of your business? I'll take a moment. Okay, and I'm going to read FitBuds. FitBudd helps fitness coaches and personal trainers grow their businesses by offering a fully customizable fitness app and website with features for client management, workout planning, progress tracking, and seamless communication. FitBudd simplifies operations and helps trainers build stronger client relationships, all while saving time and scaling their brand. Fantastic. I love it all. And FitBudd marketing, I hope it's okay. I'm going to share one bit of feedback. Let's make sure that we can say that out loud, okay? And pick out those key points. So here's a little tip, 2 tips that I have here that I've learned that I just want to share with you. One is make sure you can bullet point everything in your elevator pitch, right? It's an elevator pitch because we're taking the elevator up and down with our friends, our family, our colleagues, our potential clients. So can you say that within one elevator ride? If you're not sure, I want you to bullet point those, right? And I want you to also keep in mind, if you've been running this business for years and years, it still takes practice to do it. I want you to think of 3 to 5 bullet points that you can say in that elevator ride, and go ahead and write them down now. Even if you don't have it, it doesn't have to be in chat section. Take some notes, put it in your notes section, write that down. That's really going to help tell your story clearly. Okay, and then let me see if I heard back from the person, fitness coach. Hi, Inez. Let's eat, elevate, accelerate, and transform. I love that. Okay, I love that. Let's eat, elevate, accelerate, and transform. Super simple, easy to get out in an elevator pitch, right? And maybe there's 2 to 3 backup points that describe that a little bit more, but that just like flows right away. All right, Ray, I'm going to read yours if that's okay. Help men and women feel more confident about themselves. Hold on, I just scroll down through fitness and nutrition. Fantastic. I want to hear what men and women, right? So talk a little bit about your audience and define your audience. Who are they, right? Is it everybody from teens to adults? Is it just teens? Is it older? Is it a senior level population? So that can be an important thing to add. These are all fantastic. And one thing I do want to also share with you, all right, is talking. So my name is Benet, right? And I say Body by Benet when I was sharing it with you. Body by Benet helps clients with food and fitness to equal results. It's a little awkward to use our own names like we're in third person, right? Body by Benet. But what I am doing is branding. All right. So FitBudd asked me when I was practicing, they're like, is it cold there? Are you wearing like, because I'm wearing this hat. Okay. I live in California. Sorry, it's not cold. It's an opportunity to brand myself. Any opportunity you can to brand yourself, take advantage, use that opportunity, whether it's through a hat, through a water bottle, through talking about yourself in third person. All right. So fitness coach to everybody. I help discourage women lose weight without self-hatred and positive reinforcement. First of all, fantastic. I absolutely love that. But who is I? And I'm not just talking to you. I talk to executives all day long I've trained Apple. I've trained executives at Google. I've trained startups. I've worked with Salesforce. I'm in the Bay Area. This is the easiest tip I give them, because actually, even after doing this for years and years, it's nerve-wracking. But where I can get them in our practice Q&A is they talk a little bit, they say, I do this and I do that, right? But who's I? Say Google, right? Say who you are. Oh, I love this. Meals and Muscles by Meg, combining strength training and nutrition planning for busy lives. Fabulous, right there through that airport. You live in Florida and you're wearing a wool hat, it's 40 degrees. I hope that hat has the name of your business on. Okay, fabulous. So I absolutely love hearing from you. And if you don't have your elevator pitch, now is the time. Take those 3 bullets that immediately come to mind that feel natural for you, write them down. Keep in mind, so what? Who cares? What's in it for me? That thing that people are always thinking about. All right, let's get on with the show. Here it is. So what? I think we cover that. Who cares? What's in it with me? Please screenshot this, write it down. Maybe you've heard it before. Now, how can we build confidence in communication? One of the coaches said, like, I already got it. That is fabulous. Okay, Steve Jobs, who founded Apple, right? Everybody told me before I went to media train him when I was 29 years old, which by the way was a long time ago, it's hard to work with him. Just do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And I walked in there like ready to media train him when he was first appearing on CNBC when the relaunch of the Mac came out. Again, I won't tell you how long ago that was. You guys can look that up yourselves because I'll be aging myself. Guess what? Even he was nervous. He was like, well, how do I put on this mic? Okay. So that put me as a trainer at ease, but I want you to know that it can be different when you're on camera. All right. Very different then, right? Because, we developed the iPhone. I should say he developed the iPhone from there. So everybody is on camera all the time. But what happens if you do get that opportunity to be on CNN, to be on your local NBC show, or to be interviewed by your favorite podcaster, or somebody that is going to put the camera right in front of your face, and it's going to appear all over the internet? First and foremost, if you are on camera with NBC, different than all outlets are different, very different than if you are looking at an iPhone or you're looking at the camera. In this case, with NBC, you want to either look at the camera, right? Or look at the reporter. I want you to understand the format that you will be featured in. Makes a huge difference. Point number 2, maybe a little more obvious, smile naturally and use open body language. So you will see me here talking with open body language. I want you to record yourself if you ever have an opportunity to be on camera before the interview. Believe me, you are your own worst critic. Now, I media train people at least once a week, executives, CEOs, and we practice all the time on camera, and they pay me for my advice to them on how to appear better on camera. But there's nothing more like just doing a playback and showing them what they look like on camera, because we are all our own worst critics, right? So practice in front of the camera. Practice speaking directly to your virtual audience, to your online audience. Practice with your friends and family. Practice by yourself. I don't care. Do the playback. You will see for yourself what needs changing, what needs fixing, and do it 3 times. 3 is the magic number. Okay, now what happens if you're appearing off camera? Strong eye contact, important open posture, same thing. Appropriate hand gestures, same thing. Are you using your hands too much or too little? Use those breathing techniques to any of my fellow yoga instructors here, but this time you're using them to manage your nerves. Practice introducing yourself with a quick, confident pitch. So at the beginning of this webinar, you heard me say, I'm Bené. Body by Benet, right? And what do? I help my clients integrate food plus fitness and sometimes fun to get results. Simple, quick, and confident. All right, trainers, let's move on. Guess what? Did you know that communication is mostly nonverbal? A little bit of it, 55% nonverbal, 38% the tone. So you can hear me, maybe exaggerate a little. This isn't how I talk in everyday life, believe me. When you're teaching, if you're teaching a group fitness class, is that how you talk in everyday life? No. I always tell my clients, so for years, I still live stream daily. And I tell them, well, but when you see me in person, I'm a different person. So that tone is going to change when you're with the press. Only 7% of what you say, people are really hearing. They're kind of paying attention to the nonverbal. They're paying attention to your tone. And they might remember and hear like 7% of what you said. Isn't that crazy? Okay. But I still want you to think about how to strengthen those verbal communication skills. Refine your pace, your pause, and obviously project your voice. So today, my friend was in my group fitness class this morning, and I'm teaching in a new studio. And she was like, yeah, we didn't hear you. I'm like, oh, see, here I am giving this talk about pacing and projecting and pausing your voice and projection, and she didn't hear me. It happens, right? I've been teaching more than 25 years. It happens, new studio, the music gets louder. Think about this, the same thing in your communication skills with the press, the same thing, super important, but also key to understand where you will be featured. All right, let's take a moment and talk about nonverbal communication. Here I have something called the home state stance. That is the stance that you're most comfortable in. It's not the Superman pose. It's not the Amy Cuddy thing. It's the pose that you're more comfortable in. So if I was standing, this doesn't give me the opportunity to stand up with you. If I was standing for me and trainers, you would notice this right away. I have hyperextended knees. So my knees will go back right away when I get more comfortable. Your home state stance is the position that you are most comfortable in. I want you to keep that in mind when you talk with somebody, whether it's the press or maybe you're being featured, maybe you're in a webinar like this, or maybe you're in front of a live audience. What stance are you most comfortable in? And then I want you to turn, pivot, and shift to that presentation mode, that open stance that we talked about. I want you to reflect. I want you to move forward and use your energy purposefully. I want you to emphasize points effectively through hand gestures. So watching that video that you're going to record of yourself, watch yourself. Are your hand gestures utilized to make a point? Are they over exaggerated? Is there too many hand gestures going on? And then if you have that live audience, I want you to see if they're going through head nods. If you don't have a live audience, for example, here in this webinar, occasionally I'm asking you questions. Note if there's some active engagement. I don't know, so far I got a little bit, but I understand that many of you are multitasking. So how do we bridge gaps in tough conversations? Actually, I'm going to take a pause. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to take a pause right here and see if you guys have any questions about verbal and nonverbal communication. 7%. And Nubia says, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yes, I usually stand leaning back on my right leg. Yeah, I have hyperextended knees. Rays in New York, 20 degrees. I'm from Chicago, so this hat actually does get some play when I go back home. Any questions right now? I'm going to pause. Anything that you need me to cover that I have not covered, let me know in the chat section, and I'll try to kind of integrate that in. Okay, let's move on. This, my friends, is going to be the key. Right now, you are getting a free webinar from FitBudd And my corporate clients pay a lot of money for this stuff. So tune in, because you are going to learn something that is not only going to help you communicate, but it's truly going to help you. And thank you, Nubia, in everyday conversations. How do you get through tough conversations or maybe tough interviews? Okay. What if they said, you know what, intermittent fasting, isn't it just starving yourself? Isn't it just like making your clients starve? Isn't it only about calories? Right? What if they said that to you? What about if it's Meals and Muscles by Meg and they're talking about, you know, nutrition planning for business lives? Like, does that make any sense? How do you plan if you're busy? I'm so busy, I don't even have time to plan. Okay, you help discourage women lose weight without self-hatred, and doesn't everybody kind of like not like themselves? You know, what if we get those negative questions? Okay. We get it all the time, right? Thanks to the fitness coach that's at it. Yep, I get it all the time. I need to start going live again every day. Going live, sorry, again every day. What happens in those conversations? How do we get through those tough conversations? Again, tune in here, screenshot if you're watching the webinar. I need to stand up for a moment because, you know, my watch is going to start telling me to stand up, and we're all fitness professionals here. So if anybody needs to stand up, move the body around, go ahead and do so. I hope you're still seeing me okay. Give me the little thumbs up, FitBudd. Did I take myself out of the frame? We're good. Okay, great. Okay, so the key here is to bridge the gap in tough conversations by pivoting. How do I pivot? Verbally, maybe non-verbally, like what I just did, right? We all need to stand up, get up, move around. Verbally, you use something that communications professionals call bridging. These are bridging the gaps in tough conversations. Now that I've shared with you what it is, you will hear it all the time in politics. Sample bridges. You know, isn't intermittent fasting just like starving yourself? I mean, anybody's going to lose weight if they starve themselves. Huh, that's an interesting point. Let me remind you of all the benefits of intermittent fasting, though. Autophagy, decreased inflammation, some weight loss is possible, increased energy. Do you see? I just got them to a positive thing. I didn't repeat their negative words. Instead, I shifted the conversation and I bridged that gap. Or I simply could say, oh, that's a good point. But I think your audience would be interested in knowing that intermittent fasting has so many benefits. Let me share with you about the benefits. Okay, sorry, I just got an answer. I just got a Q&A that maybe FitBudd can answer. But my friends, let's get back to bridging. Yes, I did state that it can be difficult to plan, but what I'm sharing with you today is I can help busy professionals plan meals and make it super simple. Now, I just turned anything negative into a positive, and at the same time, I did not repeat the reporter's negative question or the negative inquiry. So you don't want to repeat the negative language. Any other questions on that? Great. Now, how am I going to get people to pay attention? Some of the tools that I like to use is something called flags. So at the beginning of this, I said, I am going to teach you one key thing. I don't know, don't rewind. At least I meant to say that. The best part about this is that you are learning so many communication techniques today. You can use them in everyday life, and you can use them to get yourself seen and heard across press, online, and offline. The three most exciting things today that you will learn is how to get yourself seen and heard offline and online, how to tell an elevator pitch, in 10 seconds, and how to be an amazing coach because you can communicate effectively. So I've just talked to you a little bit about how to prepare for tough situations. Now, how do you even get yourself in that situation? How do you even get yourself seen and heard on the press? I'm teaching you so much today. Again, thank you to FitBudd. I'm teaching you how to be a PR professional. I'm teaching you how to be a communications expert. You get all of this, but the thing is, you got to put it into place yourself. How do you get the media to say yes, that they want to cover you? Okay, what is it? First of all, you want to make it newsworthy. You want to make a story newsworthy. It's not just about you. I know we think like I'm newsworthy. I'm Body by Benet. I help clients with food and fitness to get them results. Like you should definitely just cover me and my business. It's so amazing. Like I'm like, I rock at this. I won Marin Magazine, the best health and fitness coach. Like I'm so amazing. So what? Who cares what's in it for me? I need to make it newsworthy. What does that mean? Valentine's Day is coming up. Guess what? I know that everybody likes their chocolate, but I can teach them how to make a healthy chocolate treat and feel amazing. Let me share with you my Body by Benet recipes. So now I've just made it newsworthy, right? It's a feature. It's not news, but it's a feature that ties in with a special event and or holiday. Yes, I'm going to mention my awards as I pitch myself, but I'm going to make it super relevant to them. Okay, so I talked also about Marin Magazine. That's the area that I live in. I want to be concise when I pitch them online, and I want to include supporting materials. Super easy now with ChatGPT, right? Super, super easy. Hey, what's coming up? What can I look into? What's a good idea to share? What do people want to hear? We know January's weight loss. So what do people really want to hear? Is it dry January? Are we over dry January? What is really the next trend? And then you want to pitch them on what that next trend is. And again, we want them to see you as a resource. Now that they've seen you as a resource and you've gotten yourself seen and heard, you got the placement. That's what we call it in the public relations world. What can you do? Now, I always tell clients, the most important thing is that you are excited to share it. You're excited to share your clips with your audience. It amplifies impact, right? You want to share it right away. So right away, you want to okay, I did this. I got this. You want to share it with your audience. Okay, thank the media outlets. Stay ready. Be ready for future appearances. These opportunities, they will happen within 24 hours. If a reporter calls you, you need to call them back right away and take advantage, because guess what? I love you. You're all special. We're all amazing and wonderful, but there's so many of us, right? And they could just really move on to the next person. I'm going to pause here. Some questions for FitBudd over here. Okay, you guys are amazing. So let's see here. I want to kind of move a little quickly to allow some time for Q&A. We talked a little bit about bridging to safety. I want you to write those 3 to 5 message points, and I want you to also write the 3 questions that you are so afraid to get, or the 3 hesitations. For example, the person that focuses on intermittent fasting, what are kind of like the 3 toughest questions that you think you're going to get? Okay, and maybe you can even share them with me in the chat section here. If you think you can share in the chat section. I'm going to see if I can get that going here. Okay, good. Any tough questions that you guys think you would get? Anyone? Okay, so okay, yes. Some of these are questions for FitBudd, and some of these are questions just about my experience. So being in recovery, so we're going to focus on the communications questions. this fitness coach is being in recovery, questions about her past. They're kind of like the questions that you're like, I don't really like, you see my hands, you see the body language. If any of you guys are watching, it's like my hands just crossed over my heart, like the questions that like, I'm afraid to get. Okay. And so how do we get through those questions? All right. And the questions are like kind of scary questions. I want you to actually plan for those questions. The way we plan through those questions is to take two of those messages, use the bridging techniques that I talked a little bit about, and bridge from one question to the other. So if you're looking at the slide I have here, your home base message number 1 and your home base message number 2, and you want to utilize the techniques to get through those tough questions effectively. Let's see here if I can cover just 1 or 2 more slides, and then let's go through the Q&A. Okay, good. We're almost there. We're almost there. So I have one last clip that I'm going to share with you, and then let's allow 5 minutes for the Q&A.
What do we do?
What do we do?
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world.
A, B, C. A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. AIDA, attention, interest, decision, action. Attention. Do I have your attention? Interest. Are you interested? I know you are, because you close or you hit the bricks. Decision. Have you made your decision for Christ? Action. AIDA, get out there. You got the prospects coming in. You think they came in to get out of the rain? A guy don't walk on the lot lest he wants to buy. Always be closing.
Okay, trainers, before we close, I want everybody to grab their phones, and I want to share 2 things with you. So first is, while we were on this call, oh, it's fading in the background. While we were on this webinar, thank you, FitBudd. I got a new client, nothing to do with this call. So every person counts. I am closing by telling you, thank you, FitBudd. I just got another personal training client here that subscribed through my app. So I'm so excited about that. The second thing I would like you to do is, yeah, every client counts, right? I mean, seriously, each one counts. And having said that, all of you are important to me. I'm opening Instagram right now. And I am Body by Benay, boy, I-N-A-Y. Please follow me at Body by Benay, and I promise to follow all of you back so that we can stay in touch that way, okay? And if you have more questions, I will stay here and I will answer some of these questions for you right now, but I will also try to answer on Instagram as well through DMing me directly. Please follow me again, Benay at Body by Benay. And I do want to say, I am Body by Benay. I am helping clients with food and fitness and hopefully fun along the way to help deliver results. I want to hear what your elevator pitch is. And thank you so much, FitBudd, for having me. I will stay on and answer some of the questions right here now if you have any in the chat section.
Before we jump into the questions, let me quickly introduce FitBudd to those who joined late and don't have access to the platform yet. So, in summary, FitBudd helps you grow your fitness business with the power of your branded app. Our platform is the only tool you need to seamlessly run your fitness business and build a robust digital brand. For those interested in experiencing FitBudd firsthand, we offer a 30-day free trial, and to explore more, please schedule a demo. I have shared the link in the chat with all of you. And over to you, Binay. We'll have the Q&A.
Let's see here. I'm checking to see if you guys have any questions for me about communications. I think you're asking each other. You're also asking some questions to FitBudd about when to start your plan. If you are not a FitBudd client yet, believe me, I go on all their testimonials. They have been absolutely incredible. They're going to help you start the app. Like I said at the beginning, they're going to get you set up along the way. Book that trial, the 30-day free trial, believe me, and the demo. Where do you recommend the best places to market? Start in your hometown. Okay, start in your hometown, start locally. That's the best place to market. Just start locally and then you'll build nationally. Is it worth it to have a product for sale to help engagement to the app? Like a product, what kind the fitness coach that asked that, it really just depends. It doesn't have to be a product. Like maybe you're the product, you know, maybe you want a service or maybe they're workouts. I don't know what you mean by a product because it could be like a product or service. I have a ton of products on my website, Body by Binay, you'll see under the boutique section. I don't know, FitBudd Marketing, if you want to answer that.
Which
Okay.
question is this, Binay?
I don't know if they're asking about a product. Let's get back to that one. Good, Ray. I like your elevator pitch. So they're asking if you have to, is it worth it to have a product for sale to help engagement to the app? That was the question. I don't know if you want to address that later. Okay. Well, it looks like you guys are ready to roll. I want to see you all in the press. Yeah, and we'll stay here and we'll just answer a few more questions in the chat section. So far, I've got some more people on Instagram. Remember, I'm at Body by Binay. Let's follow each other. Let's learn from each other. We can always learn from each other. Again, let's help clients feel better through food and fitness to get them results. And thank you again, FitBudd. You've been absolutely incredible. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you, Binay, for such an insightful and engaging webinar. Your expertise and practical tips have been truly inspiring, and a heartfelt thank you to all the coaches who took the time to join us today. We truly appreciate your presence and enthusiasm. It's always a pleasure to connect with such a passionate and driven community.